I'm joined by UMass Boston Lacrosse coach Tyler Lowe. Coach, busiest week of the season, 3 games in 5 days, 3 wins, all in slightly different ways. How good are you feeling after your team was able to pull off 2 really tight victories and then in your lone non-conference game of the season, defeating Mass Maritime 19-11?
Yeah, we feel great. Obviously, it was an exciting Saturday for our guys. You know, we talked a lot about this week on the calendar heading into the season. We knew what a challenge it was going to be, and we looked at how we were preparing for the season. When we worked with Jeff on the strength and conditioning side, this was really a week we had circled. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be hard, and we really challenged our guys in a lot of different ways. And I'm pleased how they stepped up. Mass Maritime was a tough opponent as well, in addition to obviously the 2 conference games. And I think what was I was most pleased with this week was I think we really had different guys that stepped up and became the difference maker in all 3 games.
That's a great point. And let's start with the guys who were difference makers on Tuesday against Eastern. Your first ever win over the Warriors. Trevor Coppy, 23 saves in that one to keep you guys in it. And then in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Warriors 3-0, including a big day from Donovan Brzezinski. How big was it for those 2 to kind of step up in that first close game you guys have had since 2019?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, it's the first close game we've had in a couple of years here. And I think, we've talked a lot about our guys about really using practice as a time to figure out who we are when things get hard. And we knew it was going to come. We didn't know when. And, Eastern Connecticut was really the first time I think guys had their backs up against the wall at a halftime or a quarter. And I think that I was really pleased with the way guys responded and really pleased with the way leaders stepped up. It was obviously a huge game for Coppy. His brother's a captain for Eastern Connecticut. So I know that's a game that he's had circled on the calendar for a long time and was disappointed to miss the opportunity last year. He stepped up. He got us huge saves when we need them. And Donovan Brzezinski obviously is a guy that, coming from UMass Dartmouth, we're incredibly grateful to have him as a part of the program. But more importantly than what he does on field, I think he's really stepped up as a leader in terms of kind of a guy who's done a lot of these things before and had a lot of success in this conference and really is showing younger guys the way in a lot of ways.
2 guys who are typically standouts who struggled on Tuesday came back in huge ways on Thursday. You look at the incredible play from Jack Dobrzynski, setting an NCAA record with 36 faceoff wins, a program record, and tied for second Division III with 28 ground balls after struggling a little bit against EastCon. And then Gavin Amaran held scoreless for the first time as a Beacon on Tuesday, comes back with 6 goals in a huge way against WestCon. How big was it for those guys to face a little bit of adversity and come back in a big way?
Sure. I mean, I think ultimately both of those guys are unbelievable team guys first and foremost. So I think they're really the only stat I know both those guys care about is getting the win for their teammates themselves. And I think, when they were having a harder time or things weren't going quite their way, I think that's really what shone through is they found a way to contribute. They found a way to contribute in ways that might not show up on the score sheet. They were guys who were leaders. They were guys who really elevated the play of their teammates around them. And, even against Eastern Connecticut, Gavin and Jack Dobbs really stepped up in big moments, really throughout the game. And whether it be a critical faceoff, critical ground ball, the effort on the ride, whatever it might be. So they were very much a part of our success in all 3 games this week.
What does 36 of 38 mean to you as a head coach? He was 25 of 25 at halftime. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
How much does that help you, especially in a game where it ended up only being a 4-goal win?
Sure. I mean, it's an astronomical stat when you look back on it for sure. I think he's done an unbelievable job. That stat to me is not really a result of, his efforts that day as much of it's a result of who he is and how he carries himself and how he prepares himself and how seriously he takes his craft. He's a guy that takes it seriously. He's a guy that works at it. And I think, it's exciting for a coach to see that type of effort rewarded and pay off. And I think it sends the right message to other guys in the program that, if this is the way you handle your role and handle your job, with this type of intensity and this type of passion, good things are going to happen.
Finally, on Saturday, you take on a Buccaneers team that was undefeated, come away with another victory. Christian Meinhold, the freshman goalie, making his first start, kind of the story in that one, 24 saves. And have to give a shout out to Dara Fahey, who's been an excellent playmaker this year. 6 more assists in that one. He had a huge week in all 3 games.
Sure. Both those guys did an unbelievable job. I think we spoke last week about how we have 4 goalies that we know can help us win lacrosse games. And I think this spoke to that. I mean, Chris has been a guy that's been pushing Copy in practice, Otto in practice, Cook in practice. And I think that's really, that really showed on Saturday. He stepped up. I was equally as happy with the saves as I was with, his ability to lead a defense, his ability to create early offense for us. I think he did a great job. Fahey's another guy that I think, we can point to amongst guys on the team. Yeah, what he does on the field is great, but his success is really a byproduct of someone who really does things the right way. Whether it be in the classroom, whether it be in the community, whether it be on campus, he's been an unbelievable role model for our younger guys for sure.
Coach, it's about to be week 3, and you've got a chance to win a regular season title, or at least a share of it, on Tuesday against Plymouth State. What's the focus going in against the Panthers, and how do you have to kind of keep your team mentally level, knowing that so much is on the line against Plymouth on Tuesday?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us, the focus has been on us for the duration of the year. In a normal season, we have, several days to prepare for an opponent. That's not necessarily the case here. So I think we're very much still in the pursuit of the best version of ourselves in a lacrosse game. And I think that's what we're going to keep working for at practice today and over the course of the game tomorrow.
Finally, we don't know who you're going to play on senior day, but what does this class of seniors mean? Obviously, some could be back next year, some won't, but they're a huge part of this team and kind of have helped guide you along the way without assistant coaches in the early going of this preseason.
Yeah, the 3 guys that we'll be honoring for senior day, Jack Riley, Charlie Cook, and Cam Ford have been tremendous parts of our program. They've been guys that, as you mentioned, with no assistance early on and a very truncated practice schedule, those are guys that we relied on heavily to instill our culture in the younger group in terms of how we practice, the standards that we hold ourselves to. And both are guys that I think have made a tremendous amount of progress over their time with us, and I'm excited to celebrate them against whoever we have the opportunity to play this weekend.
Well, Coach, good luck against the Panthers. Can't wait to see who you do play this weekend as the Beacons look to improve to 6 and potentially 7-0 heading into the LEC tournament.
Awesome. Thank you, Seth.